I always believed that love was something you nurtured, something that grew stronger over time if you put in the effort. For the past 10 years, I lived by that belief, building my marriage with patience and dedication. My wife, Meredith, was everything to me. She was beautiful in a quiet, unassuming way, soft brown eyes, a gentle smile that once made my heart race, and a voice that felt like home. I built my world around her, convinced that we were partners, a team against whatever life threw at us. But all it took was one night, one overheard conversation, to bring it all crashing down. That evening had been nothing out of the ordinary. I had come home from work a little later than usual, exhausted but eager to see my wife. The house smelled like lavender and warm vanilla, the scent of the candles she loved to light. I kicked off my shoes, loosened my tie, and was about to call out to her when I heard her voice drifting from the living room. At first, I assumed she was on the phone with a friend. Her tone was casual, light, but then I heard my name. Tobias just doesn't get it. I can't stand him anymore. I froze. My body turned cold. Every little thing he does annoys me. He's so predictable, so dull. I feel like I'm suffocating. The words slammed into me like a sledgehammer. My heart pounded in my ears, drowning out whatever was being said next. I wanted to believe I had misheard, that it was a joke, some misunderstanding. But there was no mistaking the frustration in her voice, the exhaustion that came with a truth too long held back. I should have walked into the room and confronted her. I should have asked her what she meant, why she felt that way. But instead, I stayed in the hallway, hidden in shadows, gripping the doorframe as if it could hold me together. Then her voice lowered, and what she said next shattered me completely. I haven't loved him in years. I just, I don't know how to leave. He's comfortable, reliable, but I don't want reliable. My chest tightened, and for a moment I forgot how to breathe. The love of my life, the woman I had spent a decade devoted to, saw me as nothing more than a burden, a cage. I don't know how long I stood there, drowning in the weight of those words. A part of me wanted to barge in and demand answers, make her see the pain she had just inflicted on me without even realizing I was there. Another part of me wanted to disappear, to erase the last 10 years, and pretend I had never heard any of it. But what I did next was something I never thought I'd have the strength to do. I turned around, walked to our bedroom, and grabbed a duffel bag from the closet. My hands trembled as I stuffed clothes inside, enough for a few days, maybe a week. My mind was blank, my body moving on autopilot as I zipped up the bag. I caught a glimpse of our wedding photo on the dresser. Meredith was beaming, her arms wrapped around me, her eyes full of love and promise. I stared at that photo, feeling like a fool. Had it all been a lie? Had she been waiting for an excuse to leave this entire time? I clenched my jaw and tore my gaze away, walking back down the hallway. I heard her laugh at something, a light, careless sound, as if she hadn't just ripped my heart out of my chest. I stood there for a second, gripping the duffel bag before stepping into the room. She was sitting on the couch, phone pressed to her ear, smiling. That smile died the second she saw me standing there, my bag in hand. Tobias? She blinked, confusion flickering across her face. What are you doing? I didn't answer right away. I just let the silence stretch, watching as she shifted uncomfortably under my gaze. I wanted to see it. That moment when she realized I had heard everything. That moment when the wall she had carefully built around her double life came crumbling down. And then I said the only thing that felt right in that moment. I hope you find what you're looking for, Meredith. Her lips parted slightly, but no words came out. I didn't wait for her to speak. I turned on my heel, walked to the front door, and left. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what came next. All I knew was that I was done being someone's comfortable option. The cold night air hit me as I stepped outside, but I barely felt it. My mind was a blur, my heartbeat pounding in my ears. I didn't know where I was going, only that I needed to go. I climbed into my car, gripping the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. A deep, shaky breath left my lips, but it did nothing to steady me. Meredith's words replayed over and over in my mind like a cruel echo that wouldn't fade. I haven't loved him in years. I just don't know how to leave. I should have been angry, furious, but all I felt was an unbearable hollowness, the kind of emptiness that settled deep in my bones, making me question everything I thought I knew. 10 years? Gone. I had spent a decade of my life loving a woman who saw me as nothing more than a comfortable option. The worst part? I hadn't seen it coming. Not once. I stared at the road ahead, my vision blurring. I couldn't go to a friend's house. Most of our friends were mutual, and the last thing I wanted was to explain why I was showing up at their doorstep in the middle of the night with a duffel bag. My parents lived states away, and a hotel? That would only make this more real. I wasn't ready for that. So, without thinking, I started driving. The roads were empty, streetlights casting long, ghostly shadows over the pavement. My hands tightened around the wheel as I replayed every moment in my marriage, looking for the cracks I had been too blind to see. The way Meredith had slowly stopped reaching for my hand, the way she sighed when I talked about my day, the way she had started spending more time on her phone, smiling at texts I wasn't a part of. Had she been waiting for me to leave all along? I pulled into an empty parking lot near the waterfront, my chest heaving with the weight of my thoughts. The waves crashed against the shore in the distance, steady and rhythmic, an unsettling contrast to the chaos inside me. I turned off the engine, resting my forehead against the steering wheel. For the first time since hearing those words, I let myself feel it. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the humiliation of knowing my wife had been pretending for years. I clenched my jaw, swallowing the lump in my throat. I wanted to believe that this was salvageable, that maybe this was just some fleeting frustration on her part. But those words weren't spoken in anger, they were spoken in truth. I had already lost her. I just hadn't realized it until now. A sudden vibration jolted me out of my thoughts. My phone lighting up in the darkness. Meredith. For a long moment, I just stared at the screen. Then, against my better judgment, I answered. Tobias? Her voice was hesitant, unsure. Where are you? I didn't respond. The silence stretched between us, heavy and suffocating. She exhaled. Look, I don't know what's going on, but I heard you. The words were quiet, but they cut through the air like a knife. A pause. Then, softer. What? I heard you, Meredith. My voice was steady despite the storm raging inside me. I heard everything. The silence on the other end was deafening. She hesitated. Tobias, I didn't mean, don't lie to me. Her breath hitched. Another silence. Then, finally, she said, where are you? I could have told her. I could have given her the chance to fix this, to spin some excuse or beg for forgiveness, but I didn't want to hear it. So I hung up. And for the first time in years, I let myself accept the truth. I had spent a decade loving a woman who didn't love me back, and I wasn't going to waste another second